I'm just a girl sitting here about to share with you a whole bunch of books. Hope you're ready for it. Hello everyone, so July has came and went and here we are in August. So today I'm sharing with you all the books I acquired in June. I actually bought a fair few, which I usually don't, and I got a lot sent to me, which is no surprise, so I'm just sharing with you all of them. So let's get started with the books I purchased this month. So I purchased a couple thrillers, one I've already read and you'll see my wrap up, and that is My Lovely Wife by Samantha Dowling. This is a mystery novel that I don't want to tell you too much because with mystery novels you just want to go into them kind of blind. So all I'll say about this one, it is about a married couple that has two grown kids, like they're teenagers, and they've been living this suburban life for a long time and they grow bored, so they decide to kill a person, and that is what the book is about. It has been my favorite thriller I've ever read. You'll see in my wrap up what I really thought of it, but suffice to say, I loved it. It's my favorite thriller, like I said, I've ever read. It's like a domestic thriller, I would say. It's not too gory, but it is kind of suspenseful and keeps you on your toes. I really loved it, would highly recommend it. I know it's been talked a lot about on BookTube because everyone's been hyping it up. I will say, you're either going to love this book or you're not going to like it. I don't think there's going to be a lot of people that fall in between that, but I loved it. Other thriller that I bought that I have yet to read is The Last Houseguest by Megan Miranda. I've never read a Megan Miranda book. I've heard people are so-so about her books. I will tell you I started this book that I put aside because the reading rush started, and I only got to 100 pages, and I will tell you, it's pretty boring. I want to read it, especially because I bought it. This is about a little small town in Maine, and we follow a character named Avery, who is a townie, and she meets this other girl. I forget her name. Her name is Sadie, and Sadie is a summer girl, so she comes in every summer, and you're never supposed to be friends with them. It's like a townie and a vacationer type of thing, and basically they become friends, and they become lifelong friends. They've been friends for like 10 years now, and then all of a sudden, Sadie is found dead and it's ruled as a suicide, and a year later this book starts to take place where you get glimpses of the past, and Avery thinks that something is not really right. She doesn't think that Sadie committed suicide, and it goes from there. It's a very slow book. I will tell you, 100 pages in, I'm not like compelled to read it. I will finish it, especially because I started it and I bought it, but I'm not super in love with it, and the reviews have not been the best for it, but I will persist, I think, with it. I also bought some YA contemporaries. I bought Maybe This Time by Casey West, which I already have read and reviewed in a match-it review, as well as this next book I'm going to talk about. If you don't know, I love Casey West books. She's one of my favorite YA contemporary authors. This one, I liked it. I didn't love it. I will say it's not one of my least favorite Casey West books, but it's not one of my favorites. It kind of falls right in the middle. It's about this girl named Sophie who works for a florist in a very small town, and she wants to be a fashion designer, and she wants to, when she graduates high school, move on to the Big Apple and do bigger and better things, pretty much. And time she meets this guy, I forget his name, and he's the son of a local chef, and they always see each other in events. This book is told like with events, with the floral arrangements that they do, like Mother's Day, 4th of July, things like that. It's kind of like a hate to love thing at first, but it's really cute. I enjoyed it, especially if you're like a planner of or a lover of events, I'll say. This is a great book to read. I liked it. I didn't love it. It's a standard Casey West book, so if you're into just the typical YA contemporaries, I would recommend it. Next up is If I'm Being Honest by Emily Wibberley and Austin C. Wibroka, which again I've already read. These two are in a master review. This is a take on Taming of the Shrew. I read their first book last year called Always Never Yours, which was a take on I forget, it was another Shakespeare play, I think that's their thing. And so this one's Taming of the Shrew. A lot of people also reference 10 Things I Hate About You, which I don't agree with because 10 Things I Hate About You is my all-time favorite movie of all time. It's my favorite movie, period. I don't think it's like it at all, but either way, I still enjoyed it. I enjoyed this one much more than Always Never Yours. That one I was kind of like so-so about. This one I really enjoyed. We follow a character named Cameron. Cameron is very blunt. She's popular. She tells everybody like it is, even if it hurts their feelings. Like, hey, you know, you're not having a great day, but you look horrible, so chin up. That's the kind of person she is. And it's like, why would you say things like that? Or just, she's not a nice person. Let's just put it like that. And so basically, it's about Cameron. She knows this one guy, and she wants to be in a relationship with him, so she decides to pursue it. And an event happens and he's like, you know, you're not a nice person. I can't be with a nice person. Like, I like you, but you're not a good person and I don't want to be around you. And so she decides, since they're studying Taming of the Shrew, that she's going to change herself and she's going to become nicer and better for this guy. And along the process, she learns more about herself and how she wants to change for herself. So I actually really enjoyed it and I would recommend it. It's a great summer read, but either way, I enjoyed it and would recommend it. A really good summer read in my opinion. And the last book I bought is Strange Grace by Tessa Gratton. I bought this book because I've heard a lot about it. It's not a hyped book, I would say, but I hear it talked about a lot, especially around the fall months. If you don't know, I'm a big seasonal reader. Like right now I'm into summer reads. When it gets to September, all I can think about is really fall atmospheric reads, kind of spookier reads. When it gets to Christmas, I want to read Christmas reads, you know, things like that. When it gets to be winter, I'm much more into fantasy. Now I'm looking for fall reads and I've heard this one is amazing. I don't know much about it, but I know it says long ago a village made a bargain with the devil. To ensure its prosperity, when the slaughter moon rises, the village must sacrifice a young man to the depths of the devil's forest. And I think it's just about that and a witch or something. I don't know, but I've heard amazing things about it, and you bet you I'm going to read it in October. I can't wait. I hope to love it as much as everyone else does. I can't wait for fall and all the spookier reads it'll bring. And the last book I want to talk about before I go into books publisher sent me is The Flatshare by Beth O'Leary. My amazing friend Amy over at A Court of Crowns and Quills bought me this and sent it to me as a total surprise. I was not expecting it because we were talking about it and I was asking who can let me borrow their copy because my library didn't have it and I didn't have enough funds to buy it at the time, and then she just went out and bought it for me. So Amy, you're the best. I love you so much. This book has been talked about a ton on BookTube lately. It's been hyped up a lot. It's basically about these two characters. I forget their names. Let's figure it out, shall we? Tiffy and Leon, and they share like a flat share in England, and they live together. They don't ever see each other because Tiffy is home during the day. Tiffy is not home during the day because she works during the day, so Leon's home during the day, and then Leon works at night, so Tiffy's there at night. So it's like they live together, but they don't ever see each other. So I don't think they've ever even met in real life, so they leave each other notes. It gives me Attachments for Rainbow Row vibes. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but either way, I cannot wait to read this. I'm buddy reading this next month with Amy and Jen, and I cannot wait. You guys know I love women's fiction, chick lit, that kind of thing. I can't wait to read it. I hope to love it so freaking much. So moving on to the books publisher sent me. First one I want to talk about is from Gallery Books, and that is Twice in a Blue Moon by Christina Lauren. Christina Lauren is one of my favorite women's fiction, adult, whatever, I don't know, contemporary writers of the adult genre. This one I don't know much about. It doesn't come out till October, I think. Yes. Sam was Tate's first. Her first love, her first everything, including her first heartbreak. I think this is going to be a second chance romance book, which if it is, I trust them because they wrote Love and Other Words, which is also like a second chance romance, and I loved that book so much. I cannot wait to read this. I really enjoy all of their books, honestly. Like, they're like crack to me. So from Berkeley, I have Royal Holiday by Jasmine Gilroy. If you don't know, Jasmine Gilroy is also a women's fiction adult writer, and I really enjoy her books. This one, if you can't tell, is going to be Christmas related, and we follow two characters, I think, that are like older, and they go to I think a woman falls in love with like an assistant to the prince or something like that. It's Christmas related, and if you don't know, last year I hosted my first ever readathon. It was called 'Tis the Season-a-thon, and it went really well, and I'm doing it again this year, and this is going to be a perfect book for that. So be on the lookout for, you know, talking about this near December because I can't wait for the readathon and I cannot wait for some holiday reads. From Scout Press, I have The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware. So Ruth Ware, look how shiny this is. Like, so shiny, blinding even. Ruth Ware is an adult mystery thriller author, and I have read all of her books, and there has not been one of her books that I have absolutely loved. Like, all of her thriller books I like or really don't like. In A Dark Dark Wood, one of my least favorite books of all time, be straight up with you. But I kind of enjoyed The Woman in Cabin 10, and I kind of enjoyed her last one, The Death of Mrs. Westaway, but I just don't love her books. Her writing style, I love. That's why I keep turning back to her books. So here we are at this one. I hope to love this one. Who's to say? This one, I don't know what it's about at all, and I kind of don't. Oh no, I do know it's about like this woman that's going to be like a nanny for this family, and they have like this really futuristic home or something, and a lot of nannies have quit for this family, and she doesn't know why, and then the child, I think, dies, and she's up for trial for murder of the child, only she didn't do it, and I don't know. I've heard really good things about this, so I'm hopeful yet very hesitant, because just me and Ruth Ware books do not jive well together. Next up, I have a book from Little Brown, and that is called The Revolution of Bertie Randolph by Brandy Colbert, and this cover is freaking everything. I don't know what this book is really about, honestly. It says, for once in my life, maybe the first time, I am not worried about what she thinks. I am finally living. So it's about a girl named Dove, also known as Bertie, who works hard to be the perfect daughter. I think it's about Bertie trying to step up for herself and, you know, be who she wants to be and not what people expect her to be. So I can't wait to read this. I have not read a Brandy Colbert book, I don't believe, so I really need to, because this looks like amazing. This looks like an amazing read. Next up, I have a book I have no clue what it's about, and it's called A House of Salt and Sorrows by Aaron A. Craig, and this was sent to me from Delacorte Press. The cover is beautiful. The end papers are beautiful. I don't know what this book is about. I have never heard of it. Anna Lee lives in a sheltered life at Highmore, a manor by the sea. Disturbed by a series of ghostly visions, Anna Lee becomes increasingly suspicious that her sister's deaths, okay, I guess her sister's died, I should have read that, were no accidents. Salt and Sorrows is a spellbinding novel filled with magic and the rustle of gossamer skirts down long, dark hallways. Get ready to be swept away. Okay, there once were 12 of us. Oh, is this like a telling of the 12 dancing sisters? Is that what that was called? I think this might be that, only it's going to be like a haunted one. That's kind of interesting. I need to do more research. See, like sometimes I don't hear about books and then I get them and then it's like, oh, it's interesting. I should definitely check this out. Take note of that. It's from Berkeley. It's another Kristen Higgins book, and it's Life and Other Inconveniences. This one comes out in a few days. This bottle named Emma, who never thought she had anything in common with her grandmother living in London. And basically, this bottle named Emma, who never thought she had anything in common with her grandmother, and then she learned about stuff, I think, okay, when Emma's own mother died, her father abandoned her, and then her grandmother took her in until Emma got pregnant her senior year of high school. Then her grandmother kicked her out with nothing but the clothes on her back, but Emma took the most important thing, is just her strength to survive. So then I think years later, after Emma has her daughter, she gets a call from her grandmother after not speaking for 2 decades and calls and asks for help. This sounds really interesting. Kristen Higgins seems to write kind of women's fiction with a harder, like just literary fiction, I guess you would say, with a harder kick to it, and I need to definitely check this out. I've read one of her books before, and I really enjoyed it, so I definitely check out this one, as all of these books, honestly. Next up, I have a few from Simon, the first step being The Lady Rogue by Jen Bennett. Jen Bennett writes a lot of YA contemporary books, and this is her first foray into fantasy. I'm equal parts excited and terrified because I love Jen Bennett's contemporary books, and I hope she never leaves them because I'm just addicted to them, quite frankly. I don't know what this is about. Oh no, it's like they said, oh no. A lot of people compared this to a mixture of The Gentleman's Guide, A Vice of Virtue, and The Last Magician. So it's kind of historical and funny, but it also has some fantastic elements into it. I think they go on a journey to find a ring or something of that nature in like the 1800s, I think. I don't know. I don't want to know too much because I enjoy Jen Bennett's books already and I don't want to be swayed either way. I want to read it with fresh eyes, so I'm excited for it. This one comes out in September, so that's exciting. Simon, I have Permanent Wrecker by Mary H.K. Choi. I love this cover. It's about a guy named Pablo, and then he's like, he doesn't have a lot going on for him. Then he meets pop juggernaut Leanna, who has enough social media followers, and they meet at a bodega in the dead of winter. They know they can't be together forever, but as they discover who they are, who they want to be, and how they defy the deafening expectations of everyone else, Lee and Pop turn to each other, which of course is when things get properly complicated. She also wrote Emergency Contact, which I have not read because the reviews were kind of so-so on it, but this one sounds interesting to me. And the last book Simon sent to me is Cursed, which is illustrated by Frank Miller and written by Thomas Wheeler. As you can tell right here, it's soon to be a Netflix original series. I believe this is a take on like The Sword and the Stone, or maybe Camelot or something of that nature. I don't know. But I will say there's some illustrations in here already that looks pretty cool. I'm pretty sure it's got to be, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's maybe The Sword and the Stone, or maybe Merlin, I think, like a spin on that. That's exciting. I will have to check it out. I think I might read it when I get more information about the Netflix series and see if that really sparks my interest, and then I'll check it out. I know that's bad to say, but it's probably what I'll do. The last book I have before I get into book boxes is Undercurrents by Nora Roberts, which got sent to me by St. Martin's Press. Nora Roberts is the only one that's got like them huge photos on the back. Like, we all know who Nora Roberts is. But either way, this is, oh, look at that. How freaking serene is that? That's so nice. Can you just imagine yourself sitting there reading, probably with a flashlight because it's getting a little dark. But either way, I don't know what this is about at all. It's about the power of family to harm and to heal. I think it's like a mystery novel, thriller. I don't know. I've read a few Nora Roberts books in the past, and I do enjoy her writing, but Nora Roberts is one of those authors that has so many books under her belt that you don't know where to begin with. Do I begin with the older stuff? Do I begin with the newer stuff? Do I just read something random? Like, what to do? She hasn't written like over 100 books or anything. I don't know where to start. Okay, moving on to book boxes, and we will be done. First up is the Fox book box, which I opened recently on my channel. They are a new book box where it's personalized, where you like enter in some of your favorite books, some of your least favorite books, genres, things like that. And they personally send you 3 books they think that you would like based on those. So the 3 books I got sent were The Lake House by Kate Morton. I won't go into detail about these because I have a whole video about them. I even read the dust jacket and everything. This is like a woman's fiction, mystery thriller kind of thing. Then we have The Improbability of Love by Hannah Rothschild. This one I would say is literary fiction. And then we also have The Leavers by Lisa Ko. This one is also literary fiction. I will say out of these 3, these 2 I am very, very interested in. This one, not so much. So these 2 I will probably read very soon, hopefully. My Outcrate box, I got Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lim. I love this cover. This book is about a girl that is a seamstress, and she can tailor things and things like that, and she basically disguises herself to get into the castle, and then she's put into this contest of making the queen or king, one of them, a really elaborate dress, and so she does just that. It sounds really interesting. I've never heard of a YA fantasy book where it's like about like sewing and things like that. I think that's gonna be a very interesting take on it, so I want to check it out and look up more reviews ASAP. The last 2 books are from Book of the Month. The first one being Lock Every Door by Riley Sager, which I have already read and have done a match review on it. Riley Sager is one of my favorite adult mystery thriller authors. This one I don't love. I don't know. I might be my least favorite by him. I don't know. This one, all I'm going to tell you about, it's about a girl that has to be an apartment sitter in this really illustrious apartment building where it's a lot of rich people, but there's a lot of rules, like you can't talk to anybody, you can never leave your apartment at night, you can't have any visitors, and then she notices other apartment sitters are going missing, and she starts to dig and investigate, and it gets really intense, and the ending is bananas, I'll tell you that much. Last one is Things You Save in the Fire. This is a woman's fiction, literary fiction novel about a woman that is a firefighter in Texas, and then she gets a call from her family that she needs to move to Boston to help out, and so she moves there, and then she becomes a firefighter in Boston, and they are really against the idea of a woman firefighter, so she's dealing with that. She might also fall in love with another firefighter while she's there. So I've read her other book, How to Walk Away, which I enjoyed, so I will definitely have to check this one out very soon. So there you have it. Those are all the books I acquired in July. A lot. I probably went through it very quickly or talked a lot, either or both, I don't know. But you have it there either way. If you've heard or read of any of these books, please let me know down in the comments. I would love your feedback. It always helps me out immensely. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.